much but. Why, man? How is it that I cannot do the Indian accent? I am Indian! How's it, people? Firstly, Happy Heritage Day. If you don't know what Heritage Day is a most auspicious day in South Africa when South Africans gather and reflect upon their heritage. And when I say gather and reflect upon their heritage, I obviously mean that they just gather around a braai stand and talk about how happy they are that they got the day off. But since it was Heritage Day on the 24th of September, I thought it would be a good idea to reflect upon my Indian heritage and maybe teach you about my Indian heritage, since you know I am Indian. And I know what you're thinking, but Sam, you're a coconut. How could you possibly teach us how to be Indian when you yourself don't know how to be Indian? Well, firstly, shut up. And secondly, I've embraced my coconutness, okay? And thirdly, I may be a coconut, but I still know how to be Indian. And fourthly, I've just realized that some of you might not know what a coconut is. I mean, you obviously know what a coconut is, but in this context, you might not know what a coconut is. Well, a coconut is obviously brown on the outside and white on the inside. I mean, it's not my fault that I grew up on a farm and went to white schools all my life. Anyway, as I said, I may be a coconut, but I still know how to be Indian. For example, I know that to be Indian, you've obviously got to have a gold chain around your neck at all times. And I still know that you should always get 102 out of 100 for all your maths tests. And I obviously know that your dream job has to be either one of two options, either a doctor or an accountant. See, I still know some things. So here's how to Indian properly. You're welcome. So I think most importantly, to be Indian, you gotta know what a tumbler is. If you don't call this a tumbler, then you're not Indian. Yeah, that's right. We knew about tumbler way before you people knew about your fancy tumbler with your fancy mint backgrounds and your fancy little quotes. Before that tumbler, there was this tumbler, the original tumbler. And if you call this a cup or a glass, well then you're not Indian enough, says the coconut. Also, I would have a real tumbler in my hand instead of this picture that I just plucked off Google. But I don't have any tumblers because I don't have anyone to use the tumblers because #forever_alone. Quick questionnaire. Do you have hair all over your body? Wait, everyone has hair all over their body. Do you have a lot of hair all over your body? But when I say a lot of hair, like, do you have so much hair on your stomach that you sometimes confuse it with the top of your head? Are your baby hairs on your forehead so long that it's bordering on a mini fringe? If you've answered yes to any of the above questions, then congratulations, you've passed the Indian test. When at family gatherings, when you're all sitting at the table, having a lovely lunch, the first topic you always talk about is your ailments. More specifically, your diabetes, blood pressure, and your high sugar. Because who wants to talk about happy things around a dinner table? Obviously, we want to talk about diseases when we're eating. In fact, don't just talk about it, kind of compete with one another about it. Like, whose sugar level is higher? My sugar level was 14. My sugar level was 18, so I win. Always, before you go outside, make sure you plaster sunblock on yourself. No one wants a dark Indian. In fact, don't even take any chances. Even if you're staying indoors, plaster that sunblock on your face. Because houses have windows and sunlight can come through windows and reach your body. So whether you're indoors or outdoors, just put sunblock on all the time, okay? Promise? Also wear a cap just in case. When you go to a function, in fact, anywhere, don't forget to complain about something. Even if you're at the most beautiful wedding you've ever attended in your entire life, find something to complain about. Hey, you saw that boy wearing so much hair gel in his hair, looking like one Pokemon. I literally just quoted my mother, and I pray to God that she is not watching this video. Hey, but that lasagna was so bland, man. That's because it was a lasagna. Lasagna's not meant to be spicy. Profile pictures are very important to Indians. If you want to Indian successfully, when it comes to setting a profile picture, make sure that it's a picture of a car, and make sure that it's a city golf. And if you have to be in the picture, make sure you're sitting in the front seat of the car, or make sure that you're sitting or you're posing in front of the car. Just make sure there's a car. Don't forget to always have at least one mango tree in your garden. Don't ask. Never skip tea time. You can even skip breakfast. You can skip shower time, but don't you ever skip tea time. This is something we learned from our forefathers. And when I say forefathers, I mean British colonialists. Always offer people something to eat every 20 minutes at least. This is how we get diabetes. Of course, when planning your first international trip, make sure it's to the motherland. And when I say motherland, I obviously mean England. Do not forget to stare at other Indians like this. You've got to try and figure out, without starting a conversation, their entire life history. They look so familiar. I wonder if they're from my town. I wonder why they're here. I wonder if they're just like me. Am I related to them? I wonder if we endured the same hardships growing up. Like, what are you wondering? Just stop it. You don't see white people staring at one another. You don't see black people staring at one another. You don't see colored people staring at one another. Why do we do it? Please, someone answer this question for me. I don't even know if I have to mention this because this is obvious, but I'll mention it anyway. Add masala to everything. Chips, add masala. Oranges, masala. Mangoes, add masala. Pineapples, masala. Baked beans, obviously add masala. Cereal. Just joking, that would be ridiculous. So there you go, people. I hope you're more enlightened on how to be more Indian. I am a 4th generation Indian, but I would love to know if this is a universal thing. Like, do Indians, no matter where they are in the world, share these things? Please let me know. Obviously, this was just a stupid video. I am aware that this entire video was one humongous stereotype. And obviously, I am not being serious. Just, laugh about it or don't laugh about it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Of course, happy belated Heritage Day, South Africa. I hope you enjoyed your braais. And I am very jealous because after all, that is what Heritage Day is all about. Just joking! It's about our culturally diverse country. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And I will see you again next week with another video. Goodbye! They didn't even wash these tablecloths, man. Has one stain in it.